Joining me now, attorney Michael Wright. He is filing suit on behalf of former Ohio State athletes, along with psychotherapist Dr. Robi Ludwig. I'll start with you, Michael. The president there at OSU said that the report's findings are shocking and painful to comprehend. I think that's the case for all of us. Why do you think this was an open secret as it's being described?
That's a very good question. I think that the athletes knew, the university knew that this was happening, and they turned a blind eye to it. I would assume it was because they wanted to protect the reputation of Ohio State University and make sure that there were, a lot of seats in the stands every Saturday.
How many times have we seen that, Robi? I mean, that's part of the problem here. We saw it at Penn State. We saw it at Michigan State. How much of that goes into why victims are scared to come forward because they know their predator will be protected?
Well, it has a lot to do with it. And of course, when a victim comes forward and they're not believed for whatever reason or nothing is done, it's almost like these victims are being re-victimized again. But very often, these institutions don't want to deal with the press backlash. They don't want to deal with people who donate money, no longer giving money. And they're ill-equipped to deal with the degree to which this problem exists. And so hopefully there will be a more proactive stance that universities are taking right now.
Yeah, Michael, what does justice look like? I mean, the doctor committed suicide. What do the victims want? What do they deserve?
Well, I think the victims, there are several items. I think a lot of the victims are going to need counseling. I think a lot of the victims are going to need additional or need treatment as it relates to the symptoms that they are still experiencing as a result of the abuse at the hands of Dr. Strauss. I think also these victims deserve compensation.
Yeah.
One that has been injured at the hands of someone else, I believe, are being compensated for what they endured.
And, Robi, we've seen this kind of institutional silence many times before, as I point out some of the schools. How do we crack that code of secrecy?
Well, education has been tremendously helpful. So if we can educate staff as to what to look for and what to do, and if we can educate students as to how to come forward, that can be tremendously helpful. Listen, it's going to be hard to change these institutional ways of being, but we really have no other choice because we want to protect people out there from being victimized, from being raped, and the institutions have a responsibility to lead in terms of making those changes.
And, Michael, when it comes to the status of your lawsuit, I mean, you hear there from the president of OSU, the findings in this report just shocking. How do you think things are going to proceed?
They're absolutely shocking, but I do believe the president is, acknowledging that there was a problem at the university. I think that he did admit that this abuse did occur, and I hope that the president does the right thing by these survivors, by these victims at the hands of Dr. Strauss.
Michael Wright, Dr. Robi Ludwig, thank you so much for being with me. I appreciate it.